Welcome, everybody. Glad that you all are on. We're going to get started very, very soon. We're grateful that you decided to join us in our virtual rally for Angie Nixon for a more affordable Florida, for a new Florida. We're building a brand new Florida, and we're happy to have you all here. What's up, everybody? Really happy to have you here. If you want to participate in some small way, you can hop in the chat right now. Let us know where you're calling in from. We already got some people checking in from Broward County, Sanford, the place so very important to so many of us. We got West Palm Beach in the building. Oh, what's going on, Jen? Or what's going on? How you doing? This is going to be a beautiful evening. We're so excited to have you all. We've got an incredible lineup, but nobody more important than the people who are jumping in from around the state of Florida. So let us know where you're calling in from. We got Duval County in the building. We got Gainesville. We had an Ocala shout out earlier. Stewart, Florida, Polk County. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. We're so happy to have all of you all here. We're gonna get it started very, very shortly. We want to respect your time, and we've got a star-studded list of people who are coming and joining us. So thank y'all. Drop where you're calling in from the chat. Tell your father, tell your friend, tell your mother, tell your sister, tell your brother. Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I see some of our esteemed guests have already joined us. Shout out to Killer Mike. Shout out to Oliver Larkin, Senator Nina Turner. We got some incredible people joining us. We got Brother Maurice Mitchell. We're all here. The gang's all here. So we're very happy to have you. Drop where you're calling in from in the chat. We're very excited to have you. We're going to get started very, very soon. Hollywood, Florida in the building. We got some more people from Alachua County. Shout out Gainesville. So happy to have you all. We've got the link in the chat if you want to donate and help us reach all of our goals for our campaign, and also sending Angie Nixon to Washington, D.C. Listen, we're excited about having you all here. We're excited about telling the story about why we've come here together, and we're going to get started very, very soon. Are we getting started right now?
We are, Phil. We are getting started very, very soon. This moment soon.
Okay, all right. The music stopped. I didn't know what was happening. DJ Korean Freeman on the ones and twos. All right. Playing double duty. Oh man, we got Jamal Bowman. We got a FIFA on the line. We have an incredible list of people who are here, of servant leaders, people who have stood with their hand on the freedom plow, people who have been activists, people who have run for office, people who are running for office. We got a little bit of everybody here, union leaders. We're very excited. Who else we got in the chat? Who else we got? Oh, we got Melanie Andrade. Come on, Cape Verde in the building. So happy to have you on here. Throwback Dream Defenders, Lake Worth Beach, Palm Beach County in the building right here. Oh, love it. Neptune Beach. We got every part of the beach in here. We're so excited to have you all here. We're going to get started very, very soon. We got Marie Radigan here, another OG Dream Defender. What a time to be alive. This is beautiful. We're so happy to have y'all here. Drop where you calling from into the chat. Key Largo checking in. North Miami Beach in the house. This is beautiful. West Palm once again. Nina, good to have you. Mona, so excited to see you. Polk County. Oh man, we gotta do something about Grady Judd, don't we? Polk County in the building. All right, people are still checking in. We're gonna get started shortly. I don't know if we got some more music, but I'll keep naming off people that we have here. Oh man, good to have you, Rep Travaris. I'm sorry, Duval County in the building. Oh man, we got the Dwight Bullard all the way from Richmond Heights down south. Come on, we're so happy to have you. Yes, to share this Zoom, Clay County. All right.
How many of y'all are ready to win on August 18th? We about to win big. Y'all ready to see the biggest upset in the state of Florida? Let's go.
All right. All right, I'm ready when you are ready. All right, Corinne. All right, everybody, my name is Phil Agnew. I'm so excited for you all to be here. I'm an organizer. I'm the son of a preacher and a teacher, the oldest of four boys. I'm a co-founder of the Dream Defenders, a co-founder of Black Men Build. I'm a co-founder of, if y'all can't tell, I love co-founding things. I'm a co-founder of Roots Bookstore and Market in historic Liberty City, and I've been given the honor and the privilege to guide us through our virtual town hall for a more affordable Florida for Miss Angie Nixon, sending her all the way up to DC. I'm so excited about this opportunity because, people talk a lot about our state, but I've been a part of some transformational things that have happened in our state, and many of them have been at the hands, the feet, the hearts, the head of the people who are on this call right now. So you all know what is possible for us to do in this state that so many people have forgotten. And so we're very, very excited to have you all here. In 1 month, 3 days, and 23 hours from now, posters and pundits and politicos in every corner of this country are going to stare with confused looks at their phones. Every pragmatist and pontificator and prognosticator from Pennsylvania to DC are going to send breathless emails and down their glasses of wine and scroll with sweaty palms. They're going to make nervous calls and look at each other with a mix of panic and disbelief. They'll be calling their clients and their PR companies and their spinsters and their talking heads. They're going to look back at their emails and they're going to start redrafting their statements and asking themselves how to get out ahead of this. Because at 7:01 p.m. Eastern on August 18th, 2026, each and every one of them with their focus groups and their ad buys and their $1 million war chests are going to begin reading the headlines. They'll be watching the exit polls. They'll be refreshing the headlines and crunching the numbers, and they'll realize almost in unison what we know already, that the working people of the state of Florida just elected Angie Nixon to represent them in the United States Senate. It's become in vogue to treat Florida like an afterthought, like a punchline, like the boot at the bottom of the map that this country kicked off because it got a little too much mud on it. To all of them, we're just Florida men, people to be laughed at and derided and ignored for the crime of having chosen the Sunshine State to raise our families in. See, amongst the elites of this party, it's become fashionable to forget about Florida, to write us off as a right wing playground, to forget about the farm workers in Immokalee and in Homestead, the healthcare workers in Alachua, the janitors in Tallahassee, the teachers in Port St. Lucie, the construction workers in Pensacola, the candy lady in Apopka, the Uber drivers in Fort Lauderdale. To them, it's good business and sound advice to just pass on that sunken place down here. But in 1 month, 3 days, 22 hours, and 58 minutes, each and every one of them will realize that their charts and their models were all wrong, that the people of Florida have done the unthinkable, and that they have forgotten Florida at their peril, that they forgot about the Dream Defenders and Florida Rising and student power, that they forgot about the formerly incarcerated and the dreamers, that they forgot about the unions and the teachers and the laborers and the clergy and the servers and the Amazon workers and the mothers and the day workers and the temp workers and them sex workers. In 1 month, 3 days, 22 hours and 57 minutes, we will be together somewhere smiling. Some of us will be laughing. Many of us will be crying. All of us will be remarkably unsurprised because we knew that this would happen. We knocked on the doors. We made the calls. We had the conversations. We sweat all summer. We dotted every single I. We cut the turf. We crossed every T. And we did what everybody else said that we couldn't. We chose ourselves, our loved ones, our family and our friends, our schools and our hospitals. We chose our mothers and their midwives. We chose our blocks and our churches. We chose our children and our children's children. And we sent Angie Nixon from knocking doors in Duval County to knocking down doors in the Senate. And they will never, ever, ever forget about Florida again. How many of you all are with us? I want to hear it in the chat. I want to see y'all in the chat. How many of you all are with us? We have a lot of work that we have to do. And we know that it must be done. And we know that we have the team of people to do it. So all we're asking you all to do throughout today, throughout this call, is to sign up to be a captain. Sign up to say, hey, I want to take people out. I want to knock on doors. I want to go to parks. I want to go to schools and barbershops. And I want to tell people about Angie Nixon, about the work that she's already been doing, about the work that she will do and the movement that we've been building and continue to build in the state of Florida. We want you to sign up to be a captain. If being a captain is not your ministry, we want you to sign up and join a canvas. All you got to do is sign up, and you'll see the link in the chat right there, and find a place that's close to you that you want to go to. Find some people who you want to talk to and go talk to them. And we're also asking you to donate. This is a people-funded campaign. Oliver knows about it. Angie knows about it. And many of you all have seen what we've done to talk about it. But there are millions and millions of dollars flooding in for our opposition, who shall remain nameless. It's easy to forget his name because he hasn't lived in Florida for that long. He just moved here in 2023. He doesn't really call Florida home. But when he does, he takes millions of dollars from AIPAC. He takes millions of dollars from lobbyists and for the very people who are destroying the state of Florida. And so we are a people-funded campaign, and we want you to click on the link that's already in the chat. We'll put it back in there as well for you to donate. We want to raise as much money as possible to fund this people-centered campaign. And I want to be able to pass, I'm going to pass it to somebody who knows how to build a people-based campaign, somebody who I travel across the country with. Somebody who I joined, let me tell y'all, I joined a campaign a few years ago for a young guy named Bernie Sanders. And people ask me all the time, why did you join the campaign? And you know what I would tell them? Not lying, but I would tell them that I love the politics, which was true, that this was an opportunity to talk about socialism in a different way to millions of people, which was true. But the absolute truth was I joined that campaign because of Senator Nina Turner, because of who he had standing next to him, who was telling us to that we were going to transform this country. And so it is an honor and a privilege to be able to pass our virtual mic over to the senator from Ohio, Senator Nina Turner.
Thank you, Agnew. And what an honor to travel this great country with you, to the Honorable Angie Nixon, baby, standing on the front line. She ain't just get there. She is not new to this. She is true to this. I got to shout, I don't know if Boynton Beach is in the house, but I want to know if Boynton Beach is in the house. I shared with the Honorable One that I lived 5 brief years in Boynton Beach. So I got my Florida creds. And let me tell you something. If you want to send someone who we don't have to give a spine to, because see, some of these folks we got to give a spine to. I had a mentor who said you cannot give a man or a woman a spine who does not have one. We know that in Representative, soon to be U.S. Senator Angie Nixon, that she has a spine. We don't have to give her one. We don't have to wonder where she stands in times of inconvenience and crisis. We know where she stands. She stands right with the people. And as Agnew has laid out so eloquently, we know why we all here. So I need you all to channel the energy that all that we love is on the line. And when we send people to Congress, particularly to the United States Senate, they rocking for all of us. So of course, the people who elect her in that great state, and I want to shout out Senator Bullard, who's on here. I've done a lot of work with him. I know my brother, Killer Mike, is in the house as well. Agnew and team, you guys have brought together a real good host of people who really care. And I'm glad that we are here to help boost our sister, Angie Nixon. Now, she needs time, she needs treasure, and she needs talent. She needs all of the above. And we don't care how much money the neoliberals flood in there. They do not have the people power. That is what we have. And if you want to send a true champion, I don't know how many of y'all saw her doing that redistricting. I mean, she shut that whole place down. I was at the edge of my seat. She could have sat back and said, oh, I'm running for the US Senate. Let me be prim and proper. No, she brought the requisite energy to the crisis. I had a boss who used to say, if your hair is on fire, you ought to act like your hair is on fire. Well, our hair should be on fire because people can't afford to live in these United States of America. Our hair should be on fire because the corporatist wings of both parties have united. Our hair should be on fire because there are only two classes of people in the United States of America. It is the ruling class and the rest of us. Don't get it twisted. The neoliberals are coming after our sister because they know that she is going to only have one special interest, as my brother Killer Mike used to say on the trail, and that is you. So we need friends and we need frenemies. We call them frenemies too. Usually we don't call the frenemies, but we calling on the friends and the frenemies. I need folks to click on that link and to give what you can. If it's only $5, give the $5. $10, give the $10. $27, give the $27. And if you can eke out 1,000, 2,000, 2,700, 3,800, do that too. But we are taking it all. Agnew and myself and Senator Bullard and Killer Mike and Oliver and other people who were on that Sanders campaign, we understand what it means to go against the machine and to be counted out and to totally transform the moment. What Representative Angie has on her side, her extra, is that she is a Black woman. And she has always been on the mission of transformation because Black women have no other choice. So when you send this mother, this union organizer, this state representative, this woman with a healing hands and intellect and a heart for the people to the United States Senate, it will never be the same. So we're not doing this for her. She is our conduit. We are doing this for our children and our children's children. A champion like no other. And she could bring some sunshine to the Sunshine State because it's lacking a little bit right now, but she's gonna bring the sunshine back to the Sunshine State. My final remarks is this. Those of you who live in that state, you are the best representatives. And while there are a lot of us with national profiles on this Zoom tonight, it really is in your hands. For those of us who live in other states, we could give up our time and our treasure, but ultimately our goal should be to boost the voters of the great state of Florida so that they can reclaim and send somebody that they don't have to guess and wonder where she stands. James Baldwin, one of the greatest novelists of the 20th century, once said that not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. And we have to face the fact that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is one and the same. And unless you have somebody who has humanitarian in their heart, their soul, their mind, and their body, we just rocking with the same kind of people. The Honorable Angie is something different. And we need to shake asunder the establishment forces of the great state of Florida and all over this country by sending this champion who has been tried by the fire, who has time on task, to the United States Senate. I know that we can do it. And I believe in you, Sister Angie. And I know that all the people on this call believe in you. So we got to make some investments and we got to make some sacrifice. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Our champion, the Honorable Angie Nixon.
Senator, that now you know why we had to start everything off with you. Thank you very, very much for your commitment, for the work that you put in, not only on Senator Sanders' campaign, but being a champion for other candidates around the country, for other people, your constituents around the country. We thank you for starting us off. We are almost there to our goal. She's taking no corporate, no APAC money. Thank you for that question. We need you all to donate. We're almost to our initial goal. We want to increase it. There we go right there. As you all can see, we're very close to the initial goal, and we've got to keep it moving. While we were on this campaign trail that's been alluded by Senator Turner, we were joined by somebody who doesn't just rap about it, they be about it. Somebody who didn't have to be there, but chose to be there with Senator Sanders in 2016 before most people, and continued on the campaign trail with them in 2020. I had the honor of going to big places and small places, and in every one of those places, we met a consistent champion for the people, somebody who consistently joined history, present, and the future in the context, and is an educator as he is an MC and lyricist. I'm honored that we have him on this call today, and I'm honored to pass the mic, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to do this on stage, but pass the mic to Brother Killer Mike.
Man, how y'all doing? It's I knew I was doing the total right thing on the right team when I heard Nina Turner speak. I was like, my God, she's so good. I ain't got to say much. Yeah, and that still holds true to this day. I'm here because hip hop is about culture and politics, whether we want to say it or not, whether we feel as involved as we are. Hip hop stems from a group of social conditions that used means of nothingness to make art. They didn't have instruments, so they took samples and they didn't have art on canvas, so they painted on walls. They couldn't get into the finest dance schools, so they danced right on cardboard on the streets. And they couldn't get guitars, so they DJ with turntables. When I hear Angie speak, I hear someone that is a product of Florida in every way, and a product of the community, and a product of people that poured into her, and a product of teachers that have cared about her. I hear not only in her accent a care and concern, much like you hear Zora Neale Hurston. She speaks in the colloquial terms that regular folks do. She feels like the type of politician that I want to send to DC, someone that sounds like me, someone that looks like me, someone that's proud to be my neighbor, someone that doesn't move or sit from afar and pontificate about what I could do or should do. She is one of me. She is what we are supposed to send. She's someone who thinks hyper locally. She's someone that understands the clay and the dirt of North Florida and the sand and the grit of the beaches of South and Mid. She's someone that will represent for each Floridian, no matter race or ethnicity. She's someone that understands that there's a worker class in that state that deserves dignity, that deserves good pay, and that children deserve good education. She's someone that I'm getting off the bench for, as I promised myself I was done with y'all politics and y'all politicking. But her and Keisha Lance Bottoms, John Ossoff, and Raphael Warnock have been four, and including my mayor up here, have been four that I really care because I see the change they can make. So I'll be on the campaign trail in Georgia, and I'll be peeking up in Florida, making sure that Angie gets representation nationally. I believe she's a woman for the job. I believe she's a fearless leader who understands her task and mission at hand. And I think if you send her to DC, she's going to come back proud. We sent Warnock up there a few years ago, and people saying, what is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? And man, you see what he brought back today, that now if you're a company, you're only going to be able to buy 350 houses. You can't buy up the whole neighborhood and turn it all into a rental. I wish he could have got it lower than that, but I know he worked his butt off to bring on what he brought home. So send good people to DC and watch them bring good results home. I'm proud of what we've done up here with Warnock and Ossoff. I'm proud of what we're going to do with Keisha Lance Bottoms, but even prouder, I'm going to be proud to call my cousins in Florida and let them know not only did we get my folks up in Georgia in, we got Angie in. Thank you for allowing me a part of this. I look forward to seeing you guys in person as well.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Let me give you this. She ain't scared to ask rappers for money. So I will do this. My wife does not she does not allow me to give money because she say you showing up, people ought to pay to see you. But I'll tell you this, I do need 100 folks out there to pledge $100 with me. Let's get her another 10 grand in. So you got $100 coming from me. She made me use my sneaker money. So let's see if we get 100 people to meet in there. Let's see if we can get 10 grand in here really quickly before I get off, guys. And I'm around.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, man. Hey, man, you need to be in the pulpit somewhere, man. I'll sign up for that $100. I'll take that challenge from Brother Killer Mike. We're so excited to have you as a part of this and a part of the movement that has been building and brewing across the country. We have people from every state, every part of this country that wants Florida to be different, that wants to see the political project that many of us have been working for many, many years in the state of Florida begin to show some progress once again. We've done it before. We're going to do it again. We're trying to get past 1,000 and we're moving straight on. I have a request for you all. The next person who is coming up to speak is the Honorable, right? Angie Nixon. I want during the time that she's on this mic for us to be able to get past $4,000, $5,000. I know that we can do it. I've been a part of a number of other calls and I've seen it happen. I know each one of you all has the money. I see you all in the coffee line at my bookstore. I see you all every single week looking a little bit inebriated out there at the happy hours. I've seen the Netflix and I've seen the Hulu and all of these things that we pay for. Why not make an investment in somebody who is working to transform the lives of everyday working Floridians to build a more affordable Florida. I help with that and I can't even say it. A more affordable Florida. But how about this? I'm going to make it even harder to say. A more affordable Florida is just the floor, right? Not the ceiling. That is where we are just starting. And so I'm really, really happy if you all could put your hands together virtually or in your home or let out a scream, let out a yell to bring up to the virtual podium our candidate for Senate from the state of Florida, someone who I've known for many, many years, somebody who I'm infinitely inspired by, somebody who I've followed into the bookstore realm. I should have talked to you before because there's some stress going on with it, but I'm so very happy to be here with you now. Please put your hands together for Angie Nixon.
Hey, everyone.
Hey!
Hey, everyone. I am so excited and honored for everyone to be on this call. Thank you to everyone that's joining us all across the country. I really appreciate it. I really needed this today, y'all. I'm Angie Nixon, for those of you all that don't know me. Born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. I know y'all hear this drawl. My people come from Southern Georgia. My grandparents were sharecroppers. And I'm running for United States Senate. I'm running for U.S. Senate because I believe the economy should work for everyone. And right now, I don't think that's the case. I've been having conversations with thousands of Floridians all across the state for the past few months. People like Joanne from North Florida, who's 78 years old, and she's on oxygen. And instead of living out her retirement, she has to DoorDash every single day because she can't afford to keep food on her table and a roof over her head. But what's interesting is she also has to DoorDash with her grandson because her daughter can't afford to send him to daycare. And so Miss Joanne told me that not only that, but she has to go to a food pantry once a week because she can't afford vegetables. Then I was speaking with Juan down in Miami, who's living with his Cuban American grandparents who immigrated over here some years ago. But Juan is a college student and he is also working over 40 hours a week and can't make enough just to get ahead and live on his own. And then having conversations with parents down in Parkland, Florida, who are still afraid to send their children to school because they're worried that they won't return home alive. I'm running for United States Senate because change cannot wait. Right now, we are living in a time where there are people who are in power that are saying things like they want to make America great again and they want to return us back to the good old days. But y'all realize that the good old days were never good enough for all of us. They weren't good enough for the children that were working in the factories. They weren't good enough for Black people. They weren't good enough for the indigenous people. They weren't good enough for women or Latinos or or members of the LGBTQ community. And so I'm running because I believe that the government should work for people and not against them. I'm running because the other night, 2 days ago, when I was traveling on a turnpike from South Florida to make my way up to North Florida in the Panhandle, I was sleeping. My friends that were driving and the videographer, I woke up to their screams, and a couple had ran into a median and their car flew in the air and all the windows were busted out and we thought they were dead. And when we turned around in the median, I got out the car and thankfully they were alive with no scratches. But when the highway patrol came, I noticed the fear in their eye and I said, y'all need to go to the hospital. And the rescue came and they said, no, we're good, we're good, we're good. But I saw the fear in their eyes. So I got out and I talked to them away from the FHP, the highway patrol. And I asked them, are you documented? And they told me they were asylum seekers. They were here from Haiti and they were worried and concerned that they were going to be detained. And so we stayed there for hours to make sure that didn't happen. And we wind up, luckily, they didn't take them, but we wind up taking them to their home in Central Florida. I'm running for United States Senate because people are afraid to live in this country. There are literally people who are talking about ways in which they can move away because they are fearful that this country is weaponizing agencies to allow state-sanctioned violence. They are fearful that they won't have the money it takes to keep food on their table. Meanwhile, we have politicians like Ashley Moody and Donald Trump that say they can't afford, the government can't afford for us to have Medicare for all. The government can't afford for us to have free child care. The government can't afford for us to have quality public schools, but they're spending $1 billion on a ballroom we will never get to dance in. They're spending $2 billion on a war we didn't ask for. And this is all because our country is for sale and it's making them richer. It's not even mass deportation, it's mass detention. It's mass detention. It is for-profit prisons and detention centers that are privately ran. And all of these campaign donors are making more money on top of more money on top of more money with no bid contracts. Meanwhile, you are struggling. Your bank accounts are down to zero. You are maxing out your credit cards, and it does not have to be this way. I believe that hardworking, everyday people should get to shape what our communities look like and what our economies look like. I believe that if we start sending construction workers and janitors and teachers and nurses to Washington, D.C. and to all of these elected offices, that our country would be better for hardworking people. And that is why I'm running, y'all. I want us to send a message to not only MAGA Republicans, but to corporate Democrats who rather put the donors and the wealthy, the greedy billionaires and the corrupt corporations ahead of hardworking people. It is time that we change our country for the better. In the next 250 years, we have the opportunity to build a new vision for our country. One where every family has stability and every worker has dignity and every young person has the opportunity to reach the true American dream. But I need y'all's help, y'all. I am being out fundraised, but we will not be outworked. I need you all to tell everyone that you know in the state of Florida, literally call them. Don't just send a text message. You need to call them and let them know that I am in this race and that I am the candidate for them. I need people to register to vote as a Democrat by July 20th so that they can vote for me in this primary election. And I need you to donate. Right now, y'all, we need y'all to get organized. Donate to this People Power campaign so that we can go up on more doors, we can go up on more ads, and we can be in the face of the people that need to see us. And so again, I just want to thank you all for taking your time out tonight to be on this call, and all of our speakers tonight. Thank you for showing up for Florida. Y'all know, as the South goes, the country goes. And let's do this thing, y'all. Change can't wait. Thank you.
Woo!
Listen, man. If you don't feel that, you know, I'm not in the diagnosing business. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV, but you have something going on with you, you know. Thank you, Angie. I've seen Angie speak in small rooms and large, and every single time you get that level of care, that level of empathy, that level of righteous indignation and anger about the state of our world, the state of our communities and people, and those tears are real. People can cut on the waterworks in a variety of different ways, but Angie feels every bit of what she's doing, and we need you all's support. We've got the number up. We're close to 2,500. We can do so much more. This is pennies that we're asking for, right? Right now, and we are trying to get that number up so that we can use it to fund our canvases, to fund materials, to fund potentially commercials, and to continue to grow this people-centered campaign. Our opponent, once again, who will not be named, puts forth the same old policies. There's been a number of news outlets that have actually slipped up and called our opponent the presumptive nominee already, skipped over the democratic process for the people in the state of Florida, and are already anointing this person who hasn't called Florida home, but for less than a high school career, um, as the presumptive nominee. And so we've got to do something about that. Somebody called him a carpetbagger. I'm just reading the chat. That's all I'm doing is reading the chat. And we have a lot of work to do, and we need you all support in doing it. The next person that I'm honored to bring up is my brother in fraternity, brother in the struggle, somebody who consistently on a daily basis is bringing the news directly to Black people, to folks who are concerned about what is going on in our country and not getting the information that they need and that they require from the mainstream outlets. This is somebody who has built a media, I wouldn't call it an empire, right? Because that's not the word we use and just throw around. Somebody who has brought together a media platform that brings together the most dynamic voices from across our country that speak directly to the people. Someone who, whenever I've called, has answered and or called me back immediately, even though I know they have no time on their schedule because of how they're building what they've been building. Somebody who I'm honored to call a brother. Please give it up as we welcome to the virtual stage our brother and yours, Roland Martin.
I appreciate it. Hey, folks, literally just got off the air, finished with Roland Martin Unfiltered. And, one of the things that I think is critically important that we understand is that we literally are facing a GOP war on Black America. I just had on the show tonight a group representing Black farmers. They beat Donald Trump in court. They had the restoration of $127 million in federal grants. We see this. We played Congresswoman Summer Lee going after RFK Jr. on Black maternal health. And the reality is what we're seeing, that if there's any moment in American history where we need fighters, and when I say fighters, we need people who are willing to go to the mat. That's really the time that we're in right now. This is when I look at, and I'm working on a book on this, I see significant Black organizations. We have individual power, but we're operating in our silos. But this is a moment where we need to be able to understand that we are battling the efforts to return us to have Jim Crow 2.0. It is undeniable. We're seeing it on the federal level. We're seeing it on the state level. We're seeing it on the local level, especially in these states where Republicans have supermajorities like Florida, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas. And so this is a moment where we must put our resources, we must put our money where our mouth is, but also we must be activating. And Bishop Barber and I talk about this all the time. We got to be micro to macro. And so what we should be doing right now is first and foremost, Angie said, the deadline to register for the August primary is June 20th. Is that what it is?
July 20th.
July 20th, July 20th. So one of the things that I have been saying to people is that what we have to be doing is doing micro targeting, going and pulling the data, the election data, the precinct data, not just the county data, but the precinct data to see how folks voted. We must be taking our organizations and doing much better block walking, going door to door, because you can raise a lot of money, but that means nothing because you can defeat money with votes. Elon Musk spent a whole lot of money for the Republicans in the Wisconsin Supreme Court races. Both of those candidates lost to progressive Democrats, and so this is the opportunity here. This and again, votes beat money every single time. And so we've got to ensure that we are maximizing our turnout as much as possible. And so I certainly hope that we are. And here's the thing. If when you roll up on people and they ask you, well, man, I'm checked out of politics. I mean, I don't want. Why should I support Angie? Why should I support her in this race? This is what I always do with people. I say, give me your first 2 to 3 things you care about. And then they go, what do you mean? I said, what are the three things you care about? And I want to force them to actually tell me that. And then when they do that, what I then do is I then connect the dots to the person who is a United States Senator to their issue. And from DC down, we should be telling people, do you want Angie to be in the United States Senate? Because do you want her voting on the future Supreme Court justices? Do you want her questioning a future Supreme Court justice? What we're doing is we're doing this thing backwards. We're telling people to vote, but I can't get them to vote unless I get them registered, and I can't get them registered unless I'm collecting the dots for them to understand how they can understand it. And as Joe Madison, my good friend, dear friend, used to always say on the Black Eagle, always on Sirius XM radio, you got to put it where the goats can get it. We got to make it plain because a lot of people simply don't know how this process works. And so we got to be bearing down. We got to be locked and loaded. We got to be focused. And we got to let folk know, hey, if you ain't registered by July 20th, you can't holler at me on July 21st. It's too late. It's too late. And so I really want us to understand that. I really want us to really walk people through this because seriously, I'm dealing with this every single day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. These people want to completely destroy the entire Black infrastructure that has existed for the last 60 years. They believe that the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and the Fair Housing Act were mistakes. They want to run back the 13th, 14th, 15th Reconstruction Amendments. That is real. And so we've got to have candidates, people who are in office, who are going to stand up and do battle, who are going to fight, who are going to hit hard. And so folks should be sharing the QR code to give on their social media. And again, see, we spend a lot of time as Black folks. This is my final point. We spend a lot of time saying, man, if the athletes and entertainers, I'm telling y'all this from what I do. I launched my show September 4th, 2018. The first donation I got was from a 92-year-old Black woman in Long Island, New York, who said, "Your voice matters." In almost 8 years, we've had close to 50,000 donors. Only two Black entertainers have cut us a check. Two. No Black athletes. Oh, people tell me, "Oh man, I love your show. Oh man, I watch you." Mm-mm. Y'all can't be saying, "Angie, we praying for you." We all appreciate prayer. Prayer and no works. Ain't gonna happen. And so this is what Faith Plus works. And so we've got to be putting in the work. And so let's make this happen. And again, we know what the deadline is. And so it's about getting to work. And I'll close this out with my frat brother, Vertner Woodson Tandy. He said this here, and this is what I believe when it comes to fighting. He said, "We will fight until hell freezes over, and then we will fight on the ice." We want a candidate who's going to fight on the ice. And although she ain't alpha, Angie is that person who will fight on the ice.
Thank you. Thank you, Roland. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for taking the time in between meetings to be here with us and for this candidate and for this movement and consistently on behalf of our people. Tomorrow, Angie is going to court. Going to court for the stance that she took against gerrymandering in this state. She has a court date tomorrow. So this is not just a person who's fighting on the floor of the in Tallahassee or just talking about it. This is a person who has been arrested, who has consistently spoken up in the face of adversity and has court tomorrow, right? Standing up. We are at courthouse tomorrow, right? And so she is fighting on the ice, as our brother, I got to steal that, as our brother Roland Martin said. And we're grateful for your fight. We're grateful to have you, Roland. I am very grateful to be able to continue to move us along with somebody who I've known for over a decade, somebody who has been a consistent champion, a consistent thinker, visionary, organizer, and somebody who is a leader, a consistent voice on behalf of our people, somebody who I love and respect, somebody who is an incredible musician. Y'all don't know this, man. Somebody who's got innumerable incredible talents beyond the genius that they bring to the strategy around what Working Families has been doing. I don't know if you follow Working Families Party, but I don't know how much they lose over the last few years. Them and DSA, I don't know, man. It's been really, really. It looks like they know how to choose them right now, and I think that's a product of the work and the strategy, and obviously the incredible candidates who come from organizings and organizations that have been doing the work. But I'm really happy to pass it over to my brother and yours, Maurice Mitchell.
Thank you, Brother Phil. Man, I am so honored to be with all of you tonight. And I'm so honored to be with you, specifically lifting up the leadership of our sister, Angie Nixon. Again, my name is Maurice Mitchell. I'm the National Director of the Working Families Party. And I had some prepared remarks, but at this point, everybody has said what I planned on saying. And so it doesn't bear repeating. And if you're here, you already understand the assignment. If you're here, clearly you're on the freedom side. And so I just feel moved to share with you, from my perspective, what the stakes are and why this race is so critical. Brother Phil mentioned that we're in a year where so many people said what we're doing with working people across this country in elections would be impossible. In fact, if you just go back to November 2024, after the Democrats lost the election, you had people in the establishment of the Democratic Party. You had some of the most powerful people in this country and on the planet, people in media organizations, people in corporate C-suites, people in big law firms. Before Trump said jump, They beat him to it and said, how high? We had people in Congress colluding with the fascism of Trump. You had people in Congress voting for Trump nominees. I mean, Trump built this fascist and right-wing movement, but there was no opposition party to speak of. And then from the ground up, the people, not the politicians, everyday people, sometimes risking their lives, stood up in solidarity with their neighbors, and a movement, an insurgent movement, was able to be built from the ground up. And that insurgent movement lifted up fighters and insurgent candidates in the winter in New Jersey, people like Ana Lilia Mejia, who's now in Congress. Down the line, and like dominoes from one state to another, we've seen these insurgent candidates, people who all of the best DC strategists and all of the Democratic Party establishment folks claimed up and down it would be an impossibility. I remember in 2025 when my brother Zohran Mamdani, all the pundits were saying it was an impossibility for him to become mayor. Now he's governing in New York. There was a time that people were saying it would be an impossibility for us to win against AIPAC and AI and crypto and the Fraternal Order of Police and the real estate lobby and the corporate lobbies. All of those lobbies are aligned, supporting the fascist infrastructure of the right wing, and unfortunately, the status quo infrastructure in the establishment of the Democratic Party. And we need to fight both of them at the same time. And we're winning. And we're winning because we're propelled by the wisdom of the people, right? They can spend millions of dollars on ads. Those ads are backfiring. People are hip to it. People understand when they see a genocide that it's a genocide. People understand when they see masked men marauding our streets, killing people in our name and with our tax dollars, that is unjust, that is unethical, that is a stain. People understand that in the richest country in the history of the world, we could pay for childcare, we could pay for healthcare, we could have good jobs, good union jobs, we could have time with our family, we could have affordable housing, we could tax the wealthy to fund all those things, we could take corporate money out of politics. It's simple, and most people agree across ideology, across race, across region. Most people already agree. It is not controversial. The only place that is controversial is in Capitol Hill. And that's why we need to elevate our sister, Angie Nixon, to do the people's work in Capitol Hill. Because these things are easy for the people who are struggling, that Angie mentioned, who are struggling to make ends meet, who are struggling to figure out how to pay for needed health care and how to pay for childcare and how to make sure that they have food on the table. These ideas aren't hard. It's only controversial and hard when the people in office are in conversation with the corporate lobbyist. And what's so unfortunate is way too many people are either sitting on their seats in Congress and keeping those seats warm, or they are so compromised by their donors that they've lost connection to the people. And so we need to build an insurgency, the largest, most diverse, most uncompromising political insurgency of this country. And we need to elect insurgent candidates in order to do the people's business, in order to make sense out of the senselessness in Washington, D.C. And our sister Angie has already proven, she's proven that she knows how to govern, she knows how to fight, she knows how to run and win, she knows how to run and win against the establishment, she knows how to do the things that are right and unpopular, because she knows that she's on the freedom side and the other folks will catch on later. She has demonstrated in her career who she is and why she is supremely positioned, supremely qualified to be the next senator. And we could listen to the naysayers, some in our head, some online, some on TV that say it's impossible. What they mean is that it's hard. But we know about hard work. We know about hard work. So yes, it's hard. It's hard and necessary, and it will get done. But look, you aren't here simply to hear us speak. You're not here simply to hear the rousing oratories. We're here to organize and put in work. So the way that we put that hard work in is by actually putting in our time, our volunteer time, putting in our money, and putting in our word. There are people who are not here, who you know and you have influence over and you have connection to, who should be here. Write their names down right now, because after this call, you're going to need to call them. There is money that you have. There is money that you have that has to go to her coffers. We live in the richest country in the history of the world. Our problem isn't money. We got plenty money. The problem is where the money's at, which bank accounts the money's at. And we need to make sure that the money's in her campaign coffers. And you got time. Put your time in. Volunteer for Angie. We're building this people power. I guarantee you, one of the things that they tried to do, and I'll end here, is they have tried to reinvest in and bring back Jim Crow and bring back those anti-democratic and fascist tactics to dilute Black political power by messing around with district lines and by writing us in and out of districts, right? But you can't change the district lines when you're running for a statewide office. When you look at all the people in the role, there is enough of us. If all the working class people who understand the assignment of today in Florida register and vote in this primary, we've won. So we have the people power, right? They can't change the district lines when we're running a statewide race. We just need to get to the people. We need that fuel, we need the testimony, we need the money. We have the candidate. So if we put it together, we will change the trajectory of our politics. This is important and it's about the people of Florida, but this is about the trajectory of our politics in this country and the world. And we are on a fork in the road. There are very anti-human people, the tech oligarchs, the Peter Thiels, the Elon Musk of the world, that want to take their money and create an AI reality without any friction and without us. They want to write us out of the future. And we're standing at a fork of the road. In one direction is MAGA, Trump, the status quo, and that anti-human future. In the other direction, it is a pro-human, pro-community, pro-reality future that my 10-year-old, I'm invested in. That's why I'm invested in this race. And all of us need to step up. All of us need to give. All of us need to volunteer. All of us need to give our testimony. And all of us need to tell a friend to be part of this movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Maurice. Man, yeah, you didn't need that. You didn't need those prepared documents, man. You got it straight off the dome, and I'm really grateful and appreciative of you for Working Families Party endorsing our candidate, Angie Nixon, not forgetting about Florida, because you understand that forgetting about the people of Florida, you do that at your peril. So thank you for all the work that you've done and that you've been committed to. We are almost there, just to our second goal, because we have a number of different goals. We're almost to 2,500, and we're going to keep on moving. Sign up to be a neighborhood captain. Sign up to Canvas. Copy and paste this donate link and send it to 5 or 6 people now. Do that now. Right now, we have 100 or so, 150 or so people on the call, but each one of us have people in our phone books, in our phone books, in our contact list who can give, who can donate. Not all of them spent all their money and time at the Jay-Z concert up in New York. Not all of them did that. Some of them still got some pennies left to be able to give to this campaign here in Florida. Speaking of New York, I got somebody on here that's coming up next who I have infinite respect for. Somebody who has been a champion, not just for New Yorkers, not just for women, not just for the Arab community, not just for Palestinians, not just for Black people, not just for women, but somebody who is a champion for the side of justice and what is right. Somebody who also has a winning record that we could speak to another day and another time. Somebody who consistently has been a champion for all people and never, ever, ever, ever lost that New York accent. Somebody who I love and appreciate, who answers the call every single time, not just for me, but for people who are suffering injustice the world over. Your friend and my friend, the Linda Sarsour.
Thank you. Thank you to my brother Phil. I'm so honored to be here to support the incredible Angie for United States Senate. Like folks said, people said a lot of things. I'm gonna say my own things. I'm one of those people that, 15 years ago, I was saying things people said were outrageous. They were radical. They were so far-fetched. They were idealistic. People said in your dreams these things would happen. I used to say end military aid to Israel before anybody decided to ever say end military aid to Israel. I said abolish ICE back in 2004 before people were even on social media. That's how old I am. Because I knew the impacts of ICE as a Muslim American in the post 9/11 era. And people said I was out of my mind. When I started saying Medicare for all over a decade ago, people said you're idealistic. You're out here running after, a Jewish American United States Senator from Vermont, and you were just being so idealistic. No one's going to ever support Medicare for all. That's just not a thing. And then now everybody across the country is running on Medicare for all, abolish ICE, and end military aid to Israel, because we were always ahead of our time. And Angie has always been ahead of her time. She took the risks when it was risky. People are saying things now and you applaud them, but they're actually taking no risk at all, because public opinion now is with us on Medicare for all, on things like affordability, on affordable housing, on critiquing an apartheid regime like Israel, on being anti-war. Those are things that we as a movement have made mainstream amongst Democratic voters. The issue here is not whether we're here to sell you Angie as the most qualified and most deserving United States candidate. We're here to tell you, are you ready to do the work? Because in a movement, we do a lot of talking, and I don't like people who do talking. I like people who do the doing part. We could talk too, but if you're going to talk, you got to do. And a lot of people say that things are impossible. And I was sharing with my sisters earlier, Rachel and Corinne, that something that Muhammad Ali said that has stayed with me my whole entire life for the last 25 years that I've been doing this work, is that this word impossible. I don't like the word. And Muhammad Ali actually defined the word for me in a way that helped me to kind of move forward every time somebody tells me something is impossible. Actually, Muhammad Ali said impossible is nothing. Impossible is actually a dare. It's actually an opinion. It's somebody's opinion. And so for me, I never believed that anything's impossible. And in the last cycle, as you all seen, from Daria Liza defeating a 10-year incumbent who is the chair of the Hispanic caucus in New York City, to Milak Kiros, the first Ethiopian American woman who's going to Congress from the great city of Denver, who took out a 32-year incumbent in Colorado. People said it was impossible. People said, Linda, you're so smart, but you're really being naive. All of you progressives out here taking it a little too far here. But it's about who's ready to do the work, who's ready to put their money on the table. And one of the things that we've been told oftentimes is we don't have money, because we define money as in we have extra money laying around. And as a Muslim, we're actually told that it's not just about what you can give, it's what you're willing to risk. And a lot of times, for me, when I give to a charity or I give to a cause, it ain't about the extra cash that's in my pocket that I'm willing to give up. It's about how deep can I dig in my pocket where it actually hurts me, where it actually makes me feel like I'm doing this from a place of purpose. And so for Muslims, when we give charity, we don't give just the extra money that's laying around. We got to dig a little deeper than that. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. A lot of times, we do things like go to a coffee shop and you'll buy a nice latte for $6. You spend $6. You spend sometimes a little snack. You go buy a $10 sandwich outside. Like, these are things that some of us are capable of doing. And so what I'm asking you to do is, like, maybe for the next week, you don't eat out, right? And you go to work and you bring your lunch from home. Maybe you make your coffee at home so you don't go every day and stop by the coffee shop before you go to work, and put that $20, $30 a week that you spend on a cup of coffee and say, this month I'm going to put $30, $40 that I usually spend on cups of coffee that, of course are great and make me feel good, but I'm gonna put them on Angie because I believe in this. I believe in it that much. And so in order for us to make this happen, we got to be able to sacrifice. It's not just about doing what we can, it's about doing what we can and a little more. It's also about phone banking. There's so much technology these days. You could be literally in the comfort of your own living room, pick up the phone and call people. That's another thing we've lost. And I love being an organizer that came out of before the days of, cell phones. Like, We actually knocked on people's doors. We actually talked to our neighbors. We actually had phone calls, like an actual phone, and heard people's voices on the phone. And now we're so into the digital space that we've lost that human connection. And I promise you, in New York City, in many states that I've knocked doors, people actually, believe it or not, want you to knock on their door. I know some of you have had bad experiences, but people are want connection. People sitting on the stoops outside in Florida, people at the mall, people like, outside the church on Sunday, near the mosque on a Friday. These people want you to talk to them. You got to earn people's votes. And I think that Angie already has everything that it takes to become the United States Senator. She just can't do it by herself. And so if you believe in her platform, if you believe that Florida, and I believe in Florida. Look, I'm from New York, and a lot of people say, in New York, let me just say this. People say, take the ones we got that don't like us and send them to Florida because that's where they go. But what I say about Florida is I've seen another part of Florida. I've seen incredible Black and brown organizing in Florida. I watched you pass Amendment 4 to restore voting rights to formerly incarcerated people. People said these young people in Florida must be out their minds if they think the Floridians are about to do restoration of voting rights for formerly incarcerated people. But you did it because you did the work. You went outside, you committed yourself, you did the grassroots organizing, you went up and down the state, you spoke to your neighbors, you got those petitions signed, you put it up there, you put the ballot measure up. And then when the ballot measure was up, you got people to go vote for it. It was a big endeavor. And you did it. So if you could do that, you can definitely send Angie to the United States Senate. And what I promise you also is we're going to send some friends with her, because we have her friend, Dr. Abdullah Sayed from Michigan. We're sending him to the United States Senate. So this is a project, the movement project of sending incredible leaders, people who are bold, people who are brave, but also the leaders we deserve. Because a lot of times people keep telling us what we deserve. And when we start asking for things like universal health care, when we start saying, please use our taxpayer dollars for schools and for health care, and use it home here in our communities, and support these, low income communities, help us build more and better transportation, they tell us we're idealistic. But apparently there's a magic box somewhere where they could find, $18 billion to give to Benjamin Netanyahu to kill more Palestinian children. So I believe in the electorate. They kept telling me that the electorate, Linda, Gaza is not the issue. That's not what people care. No, people understand the intersectionality. We got to give credit to the voters that they understand that if you don't care about things like spending money on genocide that kills families, then how am I supposed to trust you that you're going to protect my democracy or make sure that my children here in the US have what they need? So I'm just going to make this simple and wrap it up by saying that I'm an organizer, just like a lot of people who are on this call. I'm connected to people with money, but me, myself, I wish I had a lot of it, because if I did, I would finance here Angie's entire statewide campaign. But at the end of the day, we are who we are, and we are the grassroots. And so today I gave $250 to Angie. I'm going to give you more. I promise, Angie. You got to give me 48 hours until, I get it a little bit together, but $250. And I'm gonna give Angie more because Angie deserves more. And I know there are people here, like when I look down at the participants on my end, if 100 people here gave $20 a piece, that's $2,000 in 5 seconds. Like sometimes we are underestimating the power of what we're doing in this campaign. And so I hope that people today, if you are able to put some money tonight, and if we can hopefully end this call, because I know this virtual rally ends at 10 o'clock, I'm going to make a commitment that we better get to $5,000, like at the minimum. And then we'll talk to the campaign to make sure we take that number and hopefully triple it post this. But for the meantime, I know the people on this call can get Angie to $5,000. If you already gave $20, can you give another 20? If you gave $50, can you give $100? And I want it to hurt. You're going to be like, Linda, but you're making me sacrifice here. And I want you to sacrifice, because when Angie wins, that sacrifice is going to be a lot more meaningful than you just giving what you came to give today. And so, Angie, I think that the people of Florida, once we organize them well, we got a couple of ideas that we were kind of moving around before this call even started. And I pray that you are the leader that the state of Florida decides is the best and most fit person to go to the United States Senate. And I want to remind people that you might be thinking, for a lot of us on the call who are not from the state of Florida, when I look at federal races, congressional races, I look at Oliver, others, it doesn't matter to me that I'm from New York and you all are candidates in Florida. Because for me, it's all about the numbers. If I can find 250, 300 members of Congress to do the right thing and vote, it doesn't matter to me if you're a Congress member from California or from Idaho. As long as you're going to do the right thing, you are my member of Congress. So all the folks that are going to align with our values and are going to put people first before politics, people before the money, people before war profiteers, You are my members of Congress all over this country. You, Angie, will be the United States Senator for the whole country. Abdul will be the United States Senator for the whole country. And I can't wait for August to come so we can celebrate, and then November comes and we can celebrate. And I want to thank the many incredible people like Phil and Corinne and Rachel and the many incredible movement folks that are behind this campaign, because that's the last thing that I'll say too. Political campaigns are not separate from our movements, right? They are an extension. They are a tactic. They are part of how movements grow to not just build grassroots power, but also takes grassroots power and build political power. So I just want to say to Rachel and Corinne and the many incredible folks and Phil and others that are behind this campaign that we are very proud of you and we got your back.
Thank you so much, Linda. For those that haven't been able to hear Linda, see Linda, witness her, you see why it's important that folks like her are part of our movement, that our movement is built like people like her. And the fact that she is here in support of Angie should say something to each and every one of us. Folks from New York haven't forgotten about Florida. Well, we know New Yorkers haven't forgotten about Florida. I say we're in the southernmost district or borough of New York down here. But I am really grateful and thank you for taking the time. For all the leadership, all the work that you have done. We can do this. Right now, we're talking minuscule amounts of money. Each one of us can give $20, $30, $40, $50 more so that we can hit this $5,000 goal. We are very, very close to doing it. If each and every person on here just gave a little bit more, we could achieve this goal and really give this campaign the financial support that it needs, because we are up against people who are willing to spend millions of dollars to support candidates who continue to support the Israelis' continuous, constant, everlasting bombing of Palestinian people and their destruction of the entire region. And so we absolutely can hit this goal. We need your help. We need your contribution. We need you to sign up to be a neighborhood captain and lead a canvas or take part in a canvas. The next person that I have the privilege of bringing up is a brother, is a consistent champion for our people, and is somebody who went up against AIPAC consistently before, as Linda Sarsour talked about, before the political winds had begun to shift based on our work that we have done. Jamal Bowman was a champion, is a champion, somebody who has always been a voice, somebody who came from New York, went to DC, and was not afraid to stand up against AIPAC, to stand up against the big moneyed interests, to speak in support of our people consistently, and is here to stand up here in this rally, in this campaign in support of Angie. So I'm very, very proud and thankful that this brother has taken the time to join us. And please welcome Jamal Bowman to the stage.
What's up, everybody? Peace and love to you all. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's really great to be here. Really excited to send another champion, our sister Angie, down to DC to do the work of the people. I want to start out off the bat by matching Linda's $250. I am also going to give $250. Whatever we can do to raise well over the $5,000 cap this evening, let us do that, both on this call, but as we share information and links and inspiration with friends and family and community members all across the country. I also want to start by saying something very explicitly. We need to elect more women to Congress and to the United States Senate. We need to elect more women of color, and we need to elect more Black women. Men have screwed things up for long enough. Let's get our sisters down there to do the work of the people and be champions of the people in the same way they are every single day in our households, on our blocks, in our neighborhoods, and in our communities, period, point blank. And this is not just an establishment corporate backed sister that we're talking about here. Anyone who is fighting for universal health care, Medicare for all, anyone who is fighting to stop the bombs and taxpayer dollars going towards genocide, Anyone who's fighting, now I'm a lifelong educator, y'all. I don't know if people on the call know that, but prior to going to Congress, I worked in education for 20 years as a teacher, counselor, and middle school principal. I worked my entire career looking for the holy grail of education. What is going to be the thing that is going to be the tipping point, the transformation for all of our children? And you know what that thing is? That thing is universal child care. And as soon as I saw Angie, Sister Angie was fighting for universal child care, I was like, I am in. Because if we can get that done nationally, we transform our country in one generation. We increase health outcomes, we increase education outcomes, we increase economic outcomes, we deal with the issue of inequality, we increase our GDP and all the things the establishment claims to care about, which we know they do not. And so these are the policy positions that our sisters running on, and these are the policy positions we got to get behind. And our dollars matter, but boots on the ground matter just as much. 100 and something people on this call, you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, that 100 becomes 1,000, that 1,000 becomes 10,000. Boots on the ground between now and August 18th so that we could win this election and shake the entire country. We've already shaken the entire country, by the way. We are in an incredible election cycle. The entire country is pushing back against fascism. They're pushing back against genocide in APAC. And they're pushing back against oligarchy and corporate interests. And we see it in election after election. The Reverend Dr. Frederick Haynes III winning in Dallas, Texas. Adam Hamaway and Ana Lilia Mejia winning in New Jersey. Daria Lisa, Claire, and Brad winning in New York. We're going to send Abdul El Said. He's going to win the primary August 4th. Our sister Cori Bush running for re-election is going to be sent back to Congress August 4th, along with Donovan McKinney. And so we already have champions who have already won. We have champions who are about to win. And on August 18th, we got to send our sister to the Senate as well. Oliver's going to be right there with her. And then in November, guess what? We got races in California. Mai Vang, Angela Gonzalez Torres, my brother, the other Latino brother, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. And our brother Charles Booker, who already won a Democratic primary in Kentucky. He's about to be a Democrat elected to the U.S. Senate. There's a clear pathway. Kentucky already has a Democratic governor. So the people are demanding fighters, champions, people who fight for human rights and justice. They're demanding authenticity. They're demanding real leadership. And that leadership will soon be in Senator Angie. Let's go, y'all. Ain't nothing to lose but our chains. As long as we got energy and effort, as long as we're ready to bang on them doors. I just came back from California. I'm on my way to St. Louis to be with Corey this week. And when are y'all, Phil, gonna bring me down to Florida, yo?
Hey, I got you.
I'm ready to come knock some doors in Florida.
I got you. I'm gonna figure that out myself personally, man. We're overdue, my brother.
I'm coming. I'm coming down to Florida. I know it's mad hot for no reason in the summer. I'm gonna wear one of them big hats, yo. I'm gonna be ready. And listen, thank you for having me. I love y'all. This is an exciting time. I think America is going through a reckoning right now and has been for a number of years. Yeah, I think we are living through our sort of age. Our generation is living through this version of an American Revolution. And the things we are going to win during this time, in this season, are the things we're going to have to fight for to keep. Because every time we win stuff, they take it away. Whenever there's progress, there's backlash. And so what we are about to win is huge. What we have already won is huge. But we're going to have to fight for the rest of our lives to keep it. And then our children and our children's children are going to have to keep fighting as well. So love y'all. You got my 250 coming in.
Love you.
Everybody on the call, please, 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 please. When I ran in 2020, no one knew who Jamal Bowman was. There's no way I could beat a 31-year incumbent. There's no way I could beat the chair of a committee, powerful committee. He had $1 million. I had $0. We won by 16 points a year later.
Come on.
All because of belief and effort. And we were
Yes.
so powerful, AIPAC had to spend more money than has ever been spent in history, in addition to taking 200,000 Black people out of the district to win in 2024. They won the battle. We're about to win the war. Let's go for Angie, baby. Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you. Love you. We're going to get you down here to Florida. We're so happy to have your support. I know you're traveling across the country. Give our love to Sister Corey Bush. Thank you for being here. The next brother that we're going to bring up, first off, we're almost to our $5,000 goal. Thank you for that commitment of $250. We need a few more of you all to give. Each and every dollar counts. Each and every dollar counts. Rachel is dropping in the chat a link for you to be able to copy and paste into a text. Send it to somebody right now. Send it to a cousin. Send it to a loved one. Send it to a homegirl. Send it to a brother. Send it to somebody who you know has a vested interest in the future of this country, the future of this state, which should be everybody in your phone list. Send it to somebody right now. I'm so honored to really be able to pass this mic to somebody.
And Phil, I'm sorry. Phil, before you
Yes.
pass the mic, I just want to shout out, just so you know the type of campaign that Angie is running. In the donations, Angie's fellows who are volunteering unpaid for 15 hours a week are donating. Angie's organizers who are working 60, 80, God knows how many hour weeks for her are taking their money and putting it back into this campaign. So big shout out to them for supporting the campaign for Angie. If they can do it, you all can do it too.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe that was the voice of Miss Corinne, our campaign manager, somebody who is working day and night to make this thing happen, make it possible. You've seen it right here. Rachel put it in the chat right here. Send this text to 5 friends. 5 friends. That's all we're asking you to do. Send it to 5 friends. Get them to donate. Before we finish this call, we're gonna hit this $5,000. Have on the call, we have it in the sphere right around this call. People who couldn't make it, send that text to them right now. Let's get these donations in for this grassroots campaign. I'm happy to pass it on over to somebody who, if you look up grassroots in the dictionary, you're gonna see a smiling face of this brother, Gary Chambers, right next to him. I first became hip to him years ago, seeing him speak truth to power at a town hall meeting, I believe. And this brother has been a consistent voice in support of our people, in support of our movement, somebody who has been fearless, been under attack from people all over the country, but somebody who is somebody we owe a great debt to that fight that they are waging in Louisiana and around the country. Somebody who is in the middle of a whole bunch going on right now. I believe he is leading a canvas right now as well. But I'm happy to pass it to my brother, and I'm grateful that you made time to be with us this evening. Put your hands together for Gary Chambers.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you, Phillip. It is good to be with you all. And Rep Nixon, I owe you a phone call. And I am glad that I am able to be with you all tonight. My sister reached out to me first about Representative Nixon because I went to high school in Jacksonville, Florida. My sister lives in Jacksonville. My father lives in Jacksonville. And I am immensely proud to be able to support you in your quest to become the next United States Senator from the great state of Florida. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And you're right, Phillip. I am sitting in my truck because we just knocked doors. We are out at a canvas right now for Ryan Thompson, who's running for district attorney here in East Baton Rouge Parish, because I believe that the pathway to the people is at their doorway. If we are talking to folks in the mailbox, if we are waiting for the internet, we are too late. We need to get at the doors and have conversations with people. Grassroots organizing is the pathway. This is a winnable race. There are people that just need to be talked to. They need to have their cousins and their friends come by and say hello. They need somebody to care about them. People are working 2 and 3 jobs, taking care of their children, and they are listening to the noise on the the internet, and that noise is confusing. And the way that we cut through that confusing noise is to have a conversation. And those conversations where we talk about how do you pay your bills and how do we make this life more affordable and how do we ensure that interest rates are at a rate that you can afford and how do we ensure that there's affordable housing being built, that you have all of the resources necessary to provide for your family, that you can make and earn a livable wage so you don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs to provide for your family, so you don't have to be the hustle man to take care of your kids. That is what Angie Nixon is going to provide for you as the United States Senator from the great state of Florida. And for anybody who tells you that it's not possible, I would just tell you to look back a few years ago when there was an election decided by 40,000 votes and ask yourself, are there more doors you can knock? Because when you look at the numbers that exist, there's always more fruit on the vine. And so what I'm asking us every day in our communities is to dig a little deeper, to work a little harder, and to communicate more. I have a shirt on that says love is an action word because I believe that we love to tell people that we love them. We love to say, I care about the community. I love the community. I love people. But if there is no action behind your love, is it really love? If there is no, if your feet are not moving, if you can't have another conversation, if you haven't sent 10 text messages tonight, you haven't done enough. And so the question is, how bad do you want it? And I want change as bad as I want air. I want change as bad as we need water. And I believe that Angie Nixon has the courage, she has the tenacity, she has the knowledge, and she has the skill set to go and lead in this moment. The last thing I'll tell you is I'm from the place in Louisiana where the lawsuit that took away the ability for us to have black representation is from. The Calais lawsuit was filed by people who are from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am from a place that people believe is not winnable. But in ruby, quote unquote, red Louisiana, in this century, black voters helped mobilize where John Bel Edwards was not elected once, but twice as our governor, as a Democrat in the state of Louisiana. And so it is possible to do this if you get out there and organize. If you give money, if you knock doors, if you make phone calls, if you send text messages, Angie Nixon is going to the United States Senate.
Thank you, my brother. You know about the power. I say it all the time. Feet beat tweets every single day of the week. And that is what this campaign is
All day.
required. That is what is happening. The number is going up. We're almost to 5,000. I know we're going to hit it. It's just on the way. I know we have it on this call, or a cousin, a friend, a sister, a brother, a mother. Somebody has it so that we can get to this number. It's not just about money, but money allows a number of possibilities. Say it
It
again.
just went up again. It just went up again. Somebody just gave 100. We're at almost $4,100. $900 away from 5,000. So thank y'all.
Thank y'all very, very, very much. Feet beat tweets every day of the week. So we're very, very happy. And so we're moving to the Florida part of this call, and we're so excited. You know, years ago, I think it was 2021, 2022, the DSA selected or endorsed a candidate here. And this brother has been a fighter for very, very, very long, and now is an elected representative or elected commissioner in St. Pete. And we're so happy to have you here. I'm going to keep it moving because we have to, but I'm going to move it. I'm so excited to be able to be on here with you, to be somebody who has watched you from afar, and glad to be able to have you on our side here as we're pushing for Angie, our brother Richie Floyd.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor just to be here today with so many incredible people who built a movement that first inspired me to run for office 5 years ago now. And so I'm here for a reason that's really personal to me and personal to what my life has been like as a Floridian. I've been a Floridian my entire life. It's the only state I've known to call home. And as a Floridian, I voted in a lot of elections where I felt like I didn't have a choice. I felt like the two choices put in front of me was a Republican that was going to make life worse for me and for other working people, or a Democrat that started from a position of compromise at best and quite often was a former Republican themselves. And so I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not getting a choice in this state, not having anyone represent my values. And people think that Florida is such a red state, it's such a conservative state, but this is not true. Florida is a working class state. Florida is a state full of decent people who work hard every day and do not have a political choice. And in 2022, we saw what happened. They recognized that. They recognized that there was no real choice, and they stayed home because of it. And that is not the case in this election. In this election, we have a candidate in Representative Nixon that we can feel proud of checking that box for in the voting booth. And then in this election, we have a candidate that we know will fight for us. In this election, we have a candidate that we know understands us because she is a true working class Floridian just like us. And that's what I'm so excited about. There's been a few times in my life that this has happened. The 2018 governor's race was one of the first times I felt like there was a Floridian that I could put pen to paper for without feeling guilty about. And when you have a candidate like Representative Angie Nixon, you can do more than just fight in one election. You can start to change the winds in a place like Florida. You can start to build a movement that can change the state for good. And I know that's the case because that's my story. I was a politically disengaged kid growing up in the Florida Panhandle, and neither party spoke to me. Neither party spoke to my desire to see a peaceful foreign policy, to see people taken care of in our country, to see things like universal health care, good paying jobs, good paying union jobs, universal child care, the end of forever wars. And I was frustrated by that. But in 2015, I saw a candidate and a movement that shared my values. That movement was built by a lot of the people on this call, and that's why I'm so honored to be able to be on this call today. And it was built by a senator from Vermont who was running for president that I had never heard of before. And in that instant, I realized, like, oh my God, there's a politics that could represent me. There's a political outlet for me to be able to participate in elections, to volunteer my time, to feel like there's something that's bigger than me that I can be a part of. And that led me on a path to where I am now, a city council member in St. Petersburg, vice chair of the St. Petersburg City Council, and tons of uh, organizing experience for a lot of issues in our state. And that's what Angie Nixon can do for the rest of our state. We can inspire people with this campaign to feel like they have a real choice, that they have a reason to go to the voting booth, not just to vote, but to get involved and to volunteer their time and their effort and to become the next city council member for their city or state representative for their district or even the next United States senator. And so we really need to do everything we can to make this campaign go well so that we can create that next generation of Floridians that put in this work. And it's not just this election or this movement that's so important. It's everything that's going on in the state. We've been ground zero for some of the most heinous things in this country. I don't even think I need to tell anybody here. Even if you're not from Florida, you see the news, you see the awfulness that we've had to deal with. I used to say, maybe 8, 10 years ago, oh, it couldn't get worse than it is now. I will never say that again. I learned my lesson after we changed governors last time, and it can continue down this path, but it won't if we fight back. And so it's time to fight back. This is the only campaign that speaks to the needs of this state, and this campaign has a winning message. It's on us to spread that message to everyone that we know, because as everyone hears the message, I guarantee you they will gravitate towards it. I guarantee you it'll resonate with them, and we will be able to turn the tide. So, what is there to say other than what people have said already on this call? It's time for us to do what we can to get this campaign across the finish line. I would love for everyone to sign up, to donate, to volunteer, tell people about this campaign. One thing I want to uplift is check your mail ballot status. If you are a registered voter, I just did it and saw that at the beginning of the call and saw that my ballot's been sent out. I can't wait to get it and turn it back in. with that box bubbled in for Angie Nixon as senator for our state. And so definitely go out, do all of those things. And at the end of the day, let's do everything we can to get Angie Nixon in the United States Senate. Thanks for having me.
Richie, thank you for being here. Thank you for stepping out there, being one of those people who years ago decided to step into the political arena, the electoral arena in the state of Florida and prove that it can happen, that there are working people in this state who are committed to a new way of doing things, to ideas that are not new, to values that are not new, but that are unpopular or were unpopular at the time. You show that the state of Florida is not one to be forgotten. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate you being on here. I appreciate your continued leadership. And I'm really excited to pass it on to somebody who will be joining Angie up in Washington, D.C. Sorry, the whole room is shaking. Who will be joining Angie up in Washington, D.C. Somebody who is going up against, oh my God, one of the worst. You know, him and Ben, I said I wouldn't say their names, but these two guys, man, are the worst of what Florida has to offer to the country. And we have an opportunity, as Richie said, to continue to turn the tide, to continue to grow a new narrative of what Florida has and what grows in Florida. It isn't a right-wing playground. There are working people here who are standing up, and that is reflected in the campaign of Angie and also in the campaign of our brother Oliver Larkin.
Thank you so much, Phillip. And thank you to every single speaker, every single person that has donated here already tonight. I'm going to start off by saying I'm going to donate $25. And if we can get 25 people to match me, I think that's going to get us right up to that $5,000 goal. It takes people power. Running as a candidate, I know we need to fund our digital ads, our campaign literature. Your donation, even if it's $5, $10, $25, it helps Angie reach so many more people, the people that we need to reach if we're going to turn out and win this state, win this primary on August 18th, and win the general election on November 3rd. And when we send Representative Angie Nixon as the senator from the state of Florida, it is going to cause a political earthquake all across the country. I want to share with you all, when I first got to know Representative Angie Nixon from afar, she had just unseated an incumbent Democratic representative in her community in Jacksonville, Florida. She challenged the political party establishment because she saw the incumbent was not representing the people in her community. So what did Angie do? As a union organizer, she stepped forward, she stepped into the arena, and she decided to run to represent her community. She opened up a bookstore as Ron DeSantis was attacking our rights to read and choose the literature that we want our children to be able to read in schools. When the state of Florida released this undemocratic, unconstitutional voting map, Angie Nixon stood on the floor of the state house with a bullhorn and was a megaphone for the entire state of Florida, reaching all across the country. I know what Angie Nixon's heart holds because she wears it on her sleeve. That's why I love her. That's why we're all here for her, because we know exactly what Angie Nixon is about. One of the bright lights in our state over years of Republican rule, someone we've always trusted and looked towards to speak with conscience and moral clarity and to talk about the suffering and the pain and the trauma that people in our state have to deal with on a day-to-day basis under 30 plus years of Republican rule that doesn't serve anybody but the billionaire and donor class. I've been loving every single moment of this Zoom tonight from the moment that I stepped on. If you grew up in Florida and are of a certain age, you recognize that BMA, that DJ Chipman at the start of the call. This is the energy that we're bringing to the United States Senate. Florida is under attack. Black political representation in our state and across the country is under attack. I know that growing up in Broward County, where we see a seat that has been represented by a Black representative for over 3 decades that was hard won and carved out due to the years, the decades of organizing established in the Voting Rights Act. And now we see some members of our own party that are willing to take Black voters for granted and not prioritize the seat at the table that Black voters, that Black women need to have if we are going to correct the years, the centuries of trauma that has been inflicted on the working class of this country. We need Angie Nixon in the Senate, and we need you to donate, even if it's 5, 10, or $500. We need you to pitch in, and we need you to sign up to volunteer to become a neighborhood captain. I trust Angie Nixon. She is a sister in the movement, someone who I know will do right by each and every one of us, and everyone who's not able to be on the call tonight. Angie Nixon is the person that we need in the state of Florida. She's the person that the United States of America needs, because when we get the word out about this rally tonight, and when we spread it across every corner of our state, when we get Angie Nixon in front of people, their minds, it's so easy to make up. The choice is so clear here. Someone who is going to fight for a living wage, for Medicare for all, for ending U.S. support for genocide so that we can invest in universal childcare. I know that when I step into the House of Representatives, the person I want sponsoring the companion piece of legislation on the other side of that Capitol is Angie Nixon. So I am so honored to be here tonight. It means the world to me that you all asked me to participate, because I'm telling people in my own private life, I would crawl over broken glass to vote for Angie Nixon on August 18th. And that is what we need each and every one of us to do, to tell your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your family. If we do it, no amount of money that the political establishment can spend can replace the enthusiasm and the trust that we have in Representative Angie Nixon to become our next United States Senator, and she will make each and every one of us so proud. Thank you all for having me on, and please donate. I'm going to process my donation right now. Let's hit that $5,000 goal.
Thank you, Oliver.
Listen, dog. Hey, I gotta break a little bit decorum right now. This brother said, crawl over broken glass. Like, there's a movement online around R&B around yearning, like bring yearning back. How much are we yearning for a different Florida right now? How much are we yearning to live in a state that isn't a punchline right now, that isn't a afterthought right now? How much do you want this? Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for everybody that has spoken. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, the people who are coming next. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, each one of us. How much do we want this? We are not that far from $5,000. I just donated $100. I know the 120 or so folks that are on here can donate $20 each to get us to that number. We can do it. How much do you want to transform this state of Florida? How many of you all have a chip on your shoulder about how people talk about us, how people look at us, how people have whole TV shows, how people have whole threads online about how we are a joke, how we are a right-wing playground, how we are a state that is actually, literally, and figuratively the swamp? How many of you all are tired of living in that state? We don't have to do it, and you all and we have the opportunity to transform our conditions, not just for ourselves, but for the working people that are not on this call. I have the honor of being able to pass it to another person who is running for office, seeking a higher role to be able to defend, to be able to work alongside the people of Florida. Please put your hands together, your virtual hands, for my brother Bernard Taylor.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to come be a part of this panel with such amazing people, especially highlighting my big sister, Angie Nixon. First and foremost, I want to say I see the goal, and I'm one of those that say we have to invest in the change that we want to see. So I'm personally going to close this thing out. Angie, I'm committing $1,000 to your campaign right now. So goal is met. We exceeded it. I've been fortunate enough to be blessed in my camp. You're welcome. I've been very fortunate enough in my campaign to be blessed, and I believe in supporting those that I believe are really going to make change. So, for you guys that don't know who I am running down here in Florida Congressional District 21. My name is Bernard Taylor. I'm running to unseat Brian Mass, who's the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I've been running this race for about a year and a half now. And I'll just give you a little bit of backstory about meeting my sister and being locked in with her every step of the way. Back around Thanksgiving time, I reached out to her, and she was one of the very first few people who believed in what we could do here and believed in my campaign. And as soon as I told her who I was running against and what I was trying to do, only thing that came out of my mouth was, "What do you need? How can I help?" And ever since then, we've been locked together. So she is definitely the change that we need to see here in Florida, not just in my district, but the entire state of Florida. I first became hip to Angie back. Um, remember Ron DeSantis was giving a speech up in Jacksonville, and she was standing right behind him wearing this shirt, and it was basically calling them out for all this nonsense and BS. And I said, anybody who could stand behind the person that is ruining our lives and stand so boldly and so courageously and call them out on their BS, that's the person that I'm going to put my faith in, and that's the person that I'm going to get behind. So ever since then, she's been my shero down here in the state of Florida. She's one of the few people that I actually believe in terms of getting things done. So being able to be locked in with her, being able to be on this call, promoting her, telling people how much they should believe in her, how much she should be the person representing us in the United States Senate. I cannot stress that enough. I'm not gonna hold you guys long. Not a very person with a whole lot of words, but I really want to just get on here and say that Angie is the person that we need here in Florida. Being a native Floridian, my family's been here for 4 generations. I was born down in Miami and then moved up to the Treasure Coast area when I was a teenager. So when I say Florida is my home, through thick and thin, through the 30 years of Republican rule that we've been under, through all the nonsense and all the bullshit that we've had to deal with over time, it's still a great place. There's still really good people here. We just have to get them motivated. We have to get them informed, and we have to get them out to the polls. As many people have already said, Florida is not a red state. We are a heavily gerrymandered state, and we are a heavily voter suppressed state. But we can overcome that with getting out here, building these grassroots campaigns, building these coalitions, doing the work, making phone calls, knocking doors, contributing to Angie's campaign. All those different things are what's going to help her get elected. It's what's going to help her overcome the odds, because they're telling her that she has no chance. They're telling people like myself and Oliver and others on this call that we have no chance. But we know that the people here believe in us, and we know with enough work and enough effort put into our races, we can get this thing done. So I won't hold you guys for too much longer. I love you, sis. I hope everything continues to go up in your favor, and I need you guys to get on here and get behind me and continue supporting Angie and continue donating to her campaign. So much love and appreciate you guys.
Bernard, thank you. Thank you very much, man, for your work, for your commitment. I've met you. I believe you've been to the bookstore, but I've met you a number of different times, and every time I've been struck by your humility, your focus. I know you never miss a day at the gym, and we appreciate all of the focus and the strength that you have for our people and for your commitment. And absolutely, last but not least, for that $1,000 commitment that you made tonight to Team Angie, to the movement that we're building. Last I checked, we're at $5,800. So we have surpassed the $5,000 goal, and now we're going straight to $6,000. I got 10 bands in my head. 10 bands would be incredible for this campaign for tonight. I think we can do it. I know we're going to do it. I'm very excited to bring up somebody who's been a long-time organizer in the state and around the country. I had the opportunity to break bread with her a few weeks ago down here at an event that was beautiful, that was uplifting, that was powerful, and just the right place to find somebody like this organizer who has been committed for many, many years to justice. Please put your hands together for Donna Neville.
I'm so pleased to be here with all of you. I want to begin by saying I'd like to meet Linda's match and contribute $250. And also want to say I was brought up where my father used to say to me, "You should give till it hurts." So I really appreciated hearing that from Linda. When I was first asked if I wanted to support Angie's campaign, I spoke with many of the social justice activists and organizers that I most respect in Florida, and who I knew had known Angie and worked with her for so long. And the sentiments I heard expressed were unanimous. She was principled. She stood for all the issues we care about. She didn't back down in the face of pressure, a really important one. She was an incredible leader in Florida, one superlative after another, and I've learned since then that they were not exaggerating. As a Jewish social justice activist in Florida, I saw that Angie had taken positions when so many others hadn't, not just in Florida, but across the country, in support of justice from Florida to Palestine. And she knew full well that the backlash she could and would face in Florida for speaking out immediately in support of ceasefire and justice for the Palestinian people. But she didn't back down. And we know that Angie's opposition, well, I won't say much about the opposition except to say that his views are exactly the opposite of her belief that fighting Islamophobia, anti-Black racism, anti-Semitism, and all injustices are inextricably connected, and her commitment to bringing our communities together to pursue justice. So I joined together tonight with so many Jewish community members in Florida, and the numbers are growing and growing, who are thrilled beyond words that Angie is running for the U.S. Senate, and we will do, and we've pledged to do, whatever we can, and that means whatever we can, to make sure that she becomes U.S. Senator Angie Nixon. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you for your work, for your commitment, for your donation today. And just thank you for always showing up and being here and for that grounded assessment of Angie. I think we all get caught up in the excitement of these moments, and as we should, these are exciting times to live in. But these are human beings who have been working together for 20 or 30 years when cameras were not there, before opinion and public opinion had swayed, before the Overton window had been widened, before all of this was popular, when we used to have to whisper about our politics. These are folks who have stood up. Angie is one of them. Donna, you are one of them. And we're just so excited to have you as a part of this movement, this campaign. And as we move right along, I know we're running up on time, but we're going to keep on moving. We break all the rules over here, and time is just a construct. And we know that. I'm happy to pass it on over to Marie Radigan, dream defender, member of the NAACP. I can't even name all the things that this person has done, but I personally have been proud and honored to watch you grow, to watch you blossom and flourish into the person who, we always knew and dreamed and saw you as. So thank you for being here. Happy to bring you up, Marie Radigan.
Thank you, Phillip Agnew. Greetings and humble salutations to the beautiful people, whether you in Florida or whether you in New York or whether you in Michigan, Boston, wherever you at. I'm excited to be here tonight. This is real personal for me, as I remember thinking about running for office, and Angie Nixon herself was one of those who I decided to call. I called her because I was scared. And I called her because I wanted to hear from my big sister. What would she think if I decided to run for office? And Angie said, "No lie, you scared? What you scared of?" And I take that spirit with me wherever I go. And if I know someone that's courageous, that's bold, that's unapologetic, that's going to do what needs to be done for the people, I know that that is Angie Nixon. And I'm going to speak directly to my young people because, young people have always been the catalyst to the movement. And I know the older millennials and, our more seasoned people, y'all spoke to everybody, but for the young people, this is our time. Our time is now to elect someone who will represent us when she goes to the U.S. Senate. I think that what better time than now to have somebody, one that's on social media, that's meeting us where we are, right? But it's time for you to pull up. It's time for you to pull up to the calf, pull up to the set, pull up to the clubs, pull up to everywhere where you need to be at to ask them whether or not they are voting. I just came from an event down here in Miami, and it was with the Caribbean caucus. And while I was there, I was interested in asking people if they knew who Angie Nixon was. So while I was on this call, they heard Angie Nixon's name and they was like, oh yeah, we love Angie. We love Angie. Specifically, one guy wanted to come into the Zoom and I'm like, sir, I can't send you this Zoom because this is my personal Zoom, but feel free to donate and here's her page. But he knew who she was already. And I think like people are fired up. People are excited. I think what better time than now to be excited, to know that the person that I'm voting for, the person that we all should be voting for, will be able to be unapologetic, unbought, like bossed and unbought. And I think like right now, young people, it's time for us to get active. It's time for us to organize. It's time for us to strategize. You may not be able to donate as much because you're a college student, but listen, you could donate with your time. Donate with phone banking with your fraternity or sorority. It's nonpartisan, but make them calls. You can donate by pulling up and knocking on them doors, going dorm storming. There's so much that you can do. Please do not sit out in this next election. And within Florida, we have over hundreds and thousands of young people who are attending college, who may be not in a public or a private institution, or they may be in trade schools. This is the time for you to show up and cast your ballot. Even today, talking to my dad, he heard Angie speaking, and my dad is from Jamaica, and he was like, who is that? Who is that? She talk truth. And I'm like, Daddy, that's Angie Nixon. Remember the one that I showed you in a pink blazer that was using a blowhorn? And he automatically knew who you were. So I want you to know, Angie, in my house, as for me and my household, we pulling up to the poll and we are voting for you. But not only are we voting for you, I am talking about you wherever I'm going to make sure that I allow people to also go to your page, follow you on social media, but also let them know who Angie Nixon is, because what better than now? We need Black women in leadership, and I carry that spirit with me when I called Angie and asked her and told her that I wanted to run. She said, "What you scared of?" So right now, Florida, what you scared of? Let's put on some Angie Nixon energy and get out on the polls and vote. My little sister back here dancing as well. She gonna dance right to the polls, so I'm excited. Passing it back to you, Phillip.
Marie, that was damn good, man. You listen, I'm so happy to be on here with you. I'm so proud to be in this time with you. I'm so proud to be on here with all of you all on this call. We gotta pass it and keep it moving because we're running up almost on time. But listen, we've been talking about the working people of Florida. We've been talking about those laborers from the top all the way to the bottom, from the panhandle all the way to the ocean. And these are folks that have made Florida what it is. These are the people that make it what it is. And so I'm so happy to pass it to my comrade, an incredible organizer, incredible leader, my sister Afifa Khalid.
Hey there, hey there. So, hey Angie, my union sister. Very proud that, fun fact, Angie is a union organizer, and she is a dues-paying member of SEIU Florida Public Services Union. So super proud to have her as our member, and how amazing and proud we will be as a union when you will be in Senate, creating the good trouble, right? So, just real quick, I know it's late and you all want to maybe watch a Netflix show. If there's a good one that you're watching, send it my way. I haven't seen TV in a while, guys. Um, I have members who work in public sector, and they were promised in this great state of Florida that if you are working hard and you have a good job, you will be taken care of. I have members who are moving out from their rental apartments into trailer homes because they cannot afford to pay rent. I have members, adult members with college degrees, who have said that they feel like a failure. And imagine if you are a public sector worker, you are providing services to your communities, and you cannot even afford to pay rent. I am not going to advocate for you to give up your coffee. Go ahead and do your coffee, guys. You as public sector workers, the working class families have been sacrificing forever in your life in this great state of Florida. But here's what I will tell you. My members who are janitors who are making maybe $25,000 a year,
are paying union dues because they believe in the solidarity. I have my members, and my brother Richie Floyd is here, and he knows um, who are homeless and paying union dues, right? Because they believe in solidarity. These working class families know what sacrifice mean and what solidarity means. So if you are the one who identify as working class, not a billionaire, we do not need to convince you to give because you have been giving to the state of Florida. And we know who are the people who stand up for the working class, who have been fighting for our issues, our values, and things that we care about. And that is my sister, Angie Nixon. So if you are part of the working class families, then give. Please donate. And if you are a billionaire, you can log out. Thank you.
But not before you give us a couple of 100,000.
Absolutely. And fun fact, I have been donating to my sister Angie Nixon for the first time she ran. I am a monthly contributor to her campaign. So if you cannot afford one-time payments, just be a monthly contributor to her campaign.
Afifa, thank you very, very much. We already said it on here. When time permits, we will give you some new Netflix shows, but the work continues and there's so much work to do. And we're all following your leadership and grateful to you. I have one more organizer who I have an infinite level of respect for. Kat, are you on here?
I sure am. Good
my
evening,
goodness,
everyone.
You listen, straight out of church.
That's right.
Listen, I have to say this, and then we're gonna go to Angie after you. Kat is one of the greatest organizers in our state, somebody who is a consistent inspiration, not because how she talks about it, because she's not a talker, she's a doer. From getting people out of prison, keeping them out of there, to making sure that while they're there, that they are treated humanely, to working and building an organization that she started in 2020, to being a powerhouse and a model around the country. There's no better person to close a Florida call before our candidate than this next speaker. So if you don't know her, you should know her. Thank you for being here, Kat.
Of course, Phil, you honor me too much. Angie, it is truly an honor and a blessing. And I say blessing loudly because I'm actually just left from the Faith House. But I think what's really important is we keep our head like really focused on organizing on the ground here in Miami and Broward and Florida, period. And the one thing I hear from the base is just like, why do we need to vote? Like, what's the point? What's the reason? And it's just the one thing that we cement is that we leave no power on the table. Like the whole point of organizing is that we hit it from every angle possible. And I think the one thing that you bring to the table is that you stand up for what you say. I think the one thing that even when I go inside the prison or go inside the jails to visit loved ones, I'm just like, I mean, if you've heard of Angie, like she's someone that isn't afraid of someone coming to her face and arresting her if needed. Like y'all in here, like she's not afraid to deal with that same with just that same kind of like hate from the carceral state and like still stand up for those values. And those are the type of values that I could stick behind. Those are the type of values that the base that I know that we organize can also stick behind and can say wholeheartedly. I think I met Angie way in the beginning of her campaign. Also did my first time donation at that time. So it's never too late to donate again. I definitely will. And I hope the base matches that as well, that are listening. I think, yeah, we're for sure the swamp. I'm proud of me. I'm a North Miami pioneer, home of the swamp dogs. And I think folks are scared of like the squealing pigs, the alligators or the snakes in the water, but we're the hidden water, like we're deep. We're the living ecosystem. And it's time to show everyone not that Florida's just not to be played with. Like, don't play with these deep waters because we'll come for you. And I think Angie is someone that comes from those deep waters, and as a mother, just like me, can resonate that we go hard. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what that means. I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited for someone that will like claw their way up, because that to me is what true organizing is, to like make sure that we put everything on the table. And so you got my support, that's for sure. And everyone that has an ear, that every corner that I'm at, every jail that I visit, they know what's up. I pass it back to you, Phil, and good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kat. $6,093 raised this evening from 89 donors. This is a people-funded campaign. I want to thank you, Kat. I thank you, Afifa. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Oliver. Can't wait to see you all up in D.C. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Gary, Jamal, Linda, Mark, Maurice, Roland. Thank you to Killer Mike. Thank you to Senator Nina Turner, and thank you to myself. You know, sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back. I'm grateful to be here and happy, and I'm really happy to pass it to our candidate, your candidate for Senate, our person, the person we love, that we're yearning for, right? Senator Angie Nixon.
So thank you all so much again for joining me tonight. I'm really appreciative. Sorry, I was crying a little earlier. It's been tough, y'all. This is a hard campaign, and I'm traveling to 67 counties, and having to leave my little ones behind. But it's all worth it, and I'm so excited that you all believe in me, but I want you all to know that this isn't about me, right? This isn't my campaign. This is our campaign. And this is my husband walking up under here. Come say hi, Jared. Let the people see who you are. But
Yeah.
they can't see your face.
It's a family affair.
This is our campaign, y'all. And they don't want us to win. They don't want us to win because they want to keep power in the hands of a select few. And they want us just to continue to struggle and to continue to work for them until we die. And so, but I am reminded that, this is our country. And I'm also reminded that, like, with we are throughout the history of our country, 250 years, every time we have been oppressed, we have met that oppression with resistance, right? This country was founded upon like oppression and then resistance. They resisted, they threw tea into a harbor. Um, when my family members were enslaved, they resisted. They had accomplices, not just passive allies. They had accomplices that put their lives on the line and risked being killed to help usher them through the Underground Railroad and to help them gain their freedom with the Civil War, right? This resistance met that oppression as it relates to the labor movement, when they were sending our kids to factories, when people were being worked 80, 90, 100 hours a week. And so we always met that oppression with resistance. Right now, y'all, as I stated it before, these folks are trying to return us back to the worst chapters of our past, the worst chapters of our history. And to the elders that are on this call and the elders that are just in this country, I am so sorry that we are here again. But I am willing to fight to make sure that your last days on this earth, to our elders, that you're present, that you can relax and you can get your just due rest that you so desperately deserve. And I am willing to continue to fight for our present, to fight for our children's present and their future because they deserve it. And I'm so excited, y'all. Like, we are building a movement. We are building infrastructure that is going to last forever, right? We are going to build infrastructure, and this campaign is going to help with that, right? But again, this is not my campaign. This is our campaign. This is so much more than about me. This is about you and what you deserve and what your family deserves and what our communities deserve. And so again, I am just so thankful for you all. We need your help, though, as Sister Nina Turner stated earlier, Senator. We need three things. We need your time. We need you all to volunteer on this campaign. We do. phone calls, knocking doors, sending text messages, being a surrogate, going out and speaking about our campaign all across the state. Also, like going online, letting people know who we are, asking them to donate. So we need your talent, whatever you're good at, lend your talent to the campaign. And then finally, we need your treasure. There's two types of power, y'all. There's organized people and there's organized money. Right now, the money is organized. But I believe and I know that throughout history, organized people have beat organized money each and every day of the week, but we have to get organized. And so I'm so excited. It's our duty to fight for our freedom, in the words of the famous freedom fighter, Assata Shakur. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. I am Angie Nixon. I thank you for joining me tonight. I am humbly asking for your vote come August 18th. I am humbly asking for your support and your donations. And I just want to say thank you all. Let's work to build a Florida and an America for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Sign up to lead a canvas, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, y'all. We gotta wait till the song goes. Get out the way, get out the way now. Gives me up.
If you with me, give me $5 more. Not me, but Angie.
Win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. Hey. Win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. Let's win, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Let's go.